Welcome to BodyHacking Build a Better You, the podcast where we unlock the secret to living a longer, healthier life and create a bloom zone in our life and within our family. I'm your host, Michaela Morell, and I'm here to provide you with the tools and knowledge to empower you to build a better you, one essential building block at a time. In today's episode, we're diving deep into the fascinating world of quantum medicine and how it can reveal critical insights about our cellular health, genetic weaknesses, and potential health risks. I recently had a session with a practitioner who used frequency scanning to uncover hidden aspects of my health that traditional medicine had overlooked. Stay tuned as I share the surprising discoveries, what they mean for my wellness journey, and how you can use similar insights to take control over your health. I want to remind you that this podcast is for educational and entertainment purposes only. Read the disclaimer in the show notes, and I want to remind you to always consult your healthcare provider if you plan to make any dietary changes. Hi, guys. So I've already taken you through the journey of what I learned about my son, taking him to have a quantum medicine treatment with different frequencies and so on. And today I want to take you through the journey of what I learned. So I know a lot about my own body already, but there's always adjustments to do. There's always weaknesses due to our DNA that might need a little bit help to correct these weaknesses. So I went to Lynn, the same lady that helped me with my son, and she started scanning my body, and she's sitting there and she starts laughing a little bit. And I'm like, wait, what? And she's like, it's really, really fascinating because looking into cellular health, most people that have good cellular health, they are at 6, but your numbers are at 10. So these numbers are extraordinary. So you have really, really, really good cell health. And also the cellular energy is very good. Your cells are really good at creating energy. I'm like, yep, I'm not surprised. Because a lot of what I'm doing with my biohacking and my body hacking is that I'm focusing on cellular health. So when she said that, I wasn't surprised, but it's always, of course, fun when you're able to measure the result of what you have been doing, the habits you have been stacking. When you're able to measure that and see the result, and it's a positive result that you kind of want, of course, it's fun. She also kept on scanning my body, and she also saw very quickly that you have some major issues with your liver. These are genetic issues, and that didn't surprise me at all. This is something that I'm very aware of, just looking into my family history and the genetics in my family. Unfortunately, I do have a lot of liver issues in my family. I have an uncle and an auntie, and they both have cirrhosis of the liver, which mean that the liver is failing and it becomes harder and rigid and can't really function. And usually this is due to drinking alcohol, but my uncle and my auntie didn't drink alcohol. So this is a genetic issue. And this issue actually made both of them pass away way too early. So it's something I'm aware of. It's something that is motivating me to take good care of my liver, to try to eat as clean and healthy as possible, to not strain my liver in any capacity that is unnecessary. This is something my practitioner saw through scanning my body, that my liver is very weak and it's not able to produce enzymes as it's supposed to due to genetic issues. So she was looking at me and she just said, I can see that you're a very healthy person, but it's thanks to you putting in the work. If you would have lived an average life, your body wouldn't have been functioning. And I told her, yeah, I kind of know that, because even with me not living a normal life, even with me being extraordinary in the way I'm eating and looking at food and being very aware of what I'm putting into my body did not function, even if I tried to live very, very strict. So she's like, yep, I can understand that, because of how my body is reacting to food and how my body is handling issues. And she also saw that my body is very, very good at creating acidity. So my body is a very acid body, and that is not good. We know, for example, that cancer is thriving in acid body. And even if I'm eating very healthy, my body is still producing acids. And that is not what a healthy body would do. But since my body is special and is struggling with producing the right type of enzymes and probably is miscommunicating a lot and is like, because of all of those factors, my body is also very good at producing acids in a way that isn't really what you want it to do. She also was looking into that and said, I'm very wise in taking daily curcumin supplementation, because that is helping to base the body as well. It's fascinating. I wasn't really aware of this part. This was something I did not know. I did not expect my body to have so much acidity, but it's something that is very good to be aware of. Because if we're aware of it, now I can do even more targeted solutions to make sure that my body is staying as alkaline as possible. Because when your body is more alkaline, your body is going to be able to function more optimally. As if it's too acidity, it's going to create more inflammation. And that is most likely the reason why I have struggled with so much inflammation in my body, that caused me to feel like I was paralyzed, that caused me all the pain in my neck. And no doctor, no blood test, nothing showed all of these issues. But because my liver not functioning optimally, then my blood isn't clean as it's supposed to be, which is also then creating more inflammation. Another thing I learned about my body is also I have a tendency to have unhealthy levels of stress in my body. And this is also due to genetic. It's something I've inherited from my, might be mom and dad, but also might be grandma and grandpa. It might be several generations up in my lineage. But she saw also on the scan that I'm pretty good at handling the extra stress that is happening within my body. And she could see that I have created lots of tools to be able to manage this stress. But it is fascinating. And it might be good to be aware of it, that some of the stress may not even come from our environment. It might come from our DNA, the stress we have inherited in our body due to traumas that can be passed down in generations. So a lot of what we are dealing with today, and we can see that people, for example, that survived the Second World War and the Holocaust, that their offsprings often develop autoimmune diseases. And scientists have been looking into them inherit so much stress in their body due to what their ancestors were experiencing. And because of that, they're more likely to develop autoimmune conditions. And that in combination, of course, if we're looking at the holistic perspective, and then like also holistic diet. And of course, if we're inheriting that extra stress and then put us in this environment where we're hardly not getting any beta glucans in our diet anymore, where we're lacking omega-3s, where we're lacking vitamins and minerals that are essential for our body to function. So we are getting less nutrition for the food we're eating because how we are harvesting the food, how it's traveling all over the world, and we are just losing so much of the nutrients that are supposed to be in the food. And our microbiome have never been this bad ever before, and it keeps on becoming worse for every generation. So when you're putting those factors with the extra stress that we have inherited from our ancestors, and then in combination with the poor microbiome we have, which is then causing an overactive immune system, yes, then it's very easy to understand that a lot of people are more prone to develop autoimmune diseases today. And this practitioner too, this was one of the conversations we had around me, that if I wouldn't have the knowledge I had, and if I wouldn't have taken control over my own health and my nutritional intake, my supplementation regime, and finding the answers I needed for my body, I would most likely be a very chronicle ill person with multiple autoimmune conditions. But thanks to all the healthy foods I'm eating and the supplementation regime I've been implementing in my own daily life, my body is functioning really, really well. And I couldn't be happier with the way my body is functioning, with the energy levels, how I'm able to sleep, how I'm able to just enjoy life. Because for me, it's truly a gift. I felt how it is to feel bad and sick. Something also that came up in these scans, something I kind of have forgotten about, was that I have sometime in my life, and I know when I did have it, but I just never went to the doctors to get a diagnosis. But I have Borrelia, the Lyme disease, in my body, but it's not active. But I think this is one of the biggest reasons why I was so sick so often after I had my first child, and until I started this journey of always having my cells being in a balanced state. Before then, I was dabbling back and forth and I was trying everything. But I was sick all the time. And I remember the day, like I was just 16 years of age. I was out on the field. I was collecting hay and I felt something bite me on my stomach. And it was a aggressive bite. I think it was a horse fly that bit me. It was I could feel the pain. And it became red and swollen and big. And what happened was I just kept on collecting the hay, worked all day outside, and then in the evening I could see the bite being big. But what happened then after a few days was that that bite, it started growing and it started being a big red circle and then a white circle within that. And it kept on growing bigger and bigger. And suddenly I had spots all over my stomach with these kind of weird things that starts as a red little dot and then it grows out and becomes like a red ring. But I never went to the doctors to have them check it up. I remember I was running some fever, I felt sick, but I kept on going. And I was 16 when this happened. Didn't think about it anymore. Kept on working, kept on riding horses, training horses, going to school, playing floor hockey, and had a very, very active lifestyle. But when I was 25 and I had my son and my immune system was bad, I was diagnosed with shingles. And after that, I was just sick all the time, back and forth, like. And now, since I know my body was showing that I had Borrelia, the Lyme disease, it makes a lot of sense. Things I hadn't been thinking of. And no doctor ever checked this when I went there over and over and over again. I was so sick. No one thought of asking me a few questions if I've ever been bit by an insect. They never checked my blood for it. They only checked for my vitals, and my vitals was always looking good. They basically just sent me back home, and I was a healthy looking person that shouldn't be sick, so sent her off. But that for me was very eye-opening to learn about myself during this hour of scanning my body for different things. But overall, she was just looking at my scan, was like, you're a very, very healthy person. And my Borrelia too, it was not active at all. And it was very, very suppressed in my body. My body had been able to fight that virus so good that it's basically so hidden that she wasn't really worried that it would blossom up again. But through the energy work that can be done with frequency machine, she said that she was just going to erase the memory of it. So who knows? Maybe next time I'm going, maybe the body doesn't remember that I've ever had it and the trace of it is erased. You know, when you have things on your computer you don't want, you throw it in the trash bin. But you can have things in your trash bin that is just there. And if you need them, you can go there and you can wake them up again. You can get them back to your hard drive. So sometimes there are viruses and things in your trash bin. And it's not all of those things you want to be able to wake up again. So instead of keeping them there, you can erase the trash bin. You can empty it. And that's what we are doing now with the frequency machine. It's going to be fun to go back and see what the result of that is. And until next time, where I'm going there too, I'm actually upping my curcumin supplementation daily to see if I can bring my acidity levels to a little bit more alkyne levels, even more. So we're going to see how my body is responding to that, which is very exciting. And those were the biggest takeaways, that I am very healthy thanks to the habits I have. But I do have a lot of things that could cause me health issues if I did not take care of it. That's why I'm always talking about prevention is the only cure. Prevention is the only cure. So if you are wanting to have as healthy of a body as possible, you want to equip yourself with the knowledge about your body, how it's functioning, how the cells are built up, and you want to create better circumstances for your body to self-heal. Every day looking in the mirror, I am reminded over the choices I'm doing that they're working, because the glow I have in my face now, and every day I get a compliment, it's a compliment reminding me over where I've been, but where I'm at right now, thanks to my daily habits, and how much good daily habits can influence how you're feeling, how your skin is showing up for you. And I mean, I see it in the mirror every day. It's so exciting to actually be aging, but you're feeling more and more comfortable in your skin. Like the skin keeps on becoming prettier, even if you're aging. Of course, you won't be able to do that forever, but it's truly remarkable over how the skin reflects on how you're taking care of your body on the inside. Since my skin have been reacting the way it does, I am so confident that what I'm doing is actually working, and then going to measure it in frequency machines. Yeah, it's really working. It's good. I'm doing things that are good for my body. And that's what I want to inspire you to do. Just get empowered, seek the help you need, investigate different ways that where you can learn something new about your body. And it has everything to do with the nutritional intake getting into our body, with the stress levels we are subjected to, but also how you are as a person. What gives you energy? What drains you of energy? Be aware of that. And sometimes we are fooling ourselves with what is actually draining us of our energy and what is actually giving us energy. So we can actually create a narrative for ourselves that is false, that we believe. We can believe that that is the truth, but it's really the opposite. So that's why it can be very, very good to do stuff like human design and look into astrology, because it can teach you things about yourself that you weren't aware of. I'm going to share a little bit more about that in another episode. Things I've learned about myself that I tricked myself to believe that wasn't true. But just as an inspiration, everything we do for ourselves will help you become the best version of yourself. So I wish every one of you could go out and find a quantum medicine practitioner and go and check what the frequency machine can tell you about you that your doctors were never able to tell you. I hope you're having a wonderful day and a wonderful week, and I'll see you next week. Bye. Hey guys, if you enjoyed today's episode, I encourage you to do one thing for me. Think of one person you want to share this podcast with and copy the link and send it right away. Thanks for playing an important role in the Blue Zone community. And if you want to keep on building a better you, one essential building block at a time, hit that subscribe button. See you in the next episode.